Welcome back, Shalligators, baby dolls. We are back talking about our favorite dumpster fire, which is Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. But you know what? At this point, not Machine Gun Kelly. It's all Megan Fox. Megan has just issued, well, like yesterday or whatever, issued a statement breaking her silence on the whole fiasco with her and MGK because, as we know, she did a video of a boyfriend bonfire. She subtweeted with Beyonce lyrics about cheating. Then she deleted all of her photos of her fiance, Machine Gun Kelly. Then she started following 3 people he very well may hate who have a combined total weight of 210 pounds. Eminem, Timothée Chalamet, and Harry Styles. Like, just so little testosterone in 2/3 of those. Just M's just holding it down. Then she deleted her Instagram altogether. Now this idiot is back releasing a statement trashing all of us normal people, the media, people like me, YouTubers and commentators, about the crazy false narrative that she created. Oh my God, I'm like fucking short-circuiting with this. Megan is coming out swinging about a narrative she herself created. She's coming out with a statement like this isn't all entirely her fault and her creation and something she did just for attention. Well, bitch, you got it. Are you feeling a little ashamed? You should. She's also releasing, like, not really a statement, but tweeting about MGK's guitarist, Sophie, who people were like, I don't know, did he cheat with Sophie? She's this hot chick who's in his immediate orbit. Color us crazy for thinking that's a possibility. So Megan is coming out like defending Sophie. We're going to break this all down. I'm going to rant a bunch. I'm going to read your guys' absolutely incredible suggestions for a video topic. And as is my theme lately, I don't even know what the topic is when I start to film this, so I have no idea what I ended up titling this video. We're just going to fucking go with it. Let's get into it. But before we do, you guys, I have a major, exciting announcement. My course on dating apps is finally here. Yes, Appy Endings, you get it, because it's an app. You get it. Is available for you. Now, this is going to work a little bit differently than my previous course. It's going to get texted right to you. It's 5 videos, 5 days. It is going to take you through beginning to end, A to Z of how to meet someone on a dating app. I'm going to tell you which apps to choose, the pros and cons of each of them. We have 2 different days devoted to building your profile, what guys want to see, what photos to choose. We're going to go through my own profile. I'm going to tell you the psychology behind what I have on there, my prompts, my photos, because nothing I do on there is an accident. I'm going to tell you the red flags to look for when a guy is posting something so that you're not swiping on a douche and maybe like letting the good guys go. I'm also going to tell you how to avoid the biggest pitfall of online dating, which is matching with someone or getting involved with someone who never seems to want to meet up. They're just looking for a pen pal. We ain't got no goddamn time for a pen pal. So I'm going to tell you how to avoid that. I have a go-to phrase that triggers a guy into asking you out. Plus, of course, the biggest thing, how to act on a date. So listen, maybe you're not super big into dating apps, but maybe you are dating. You're like, I don't even know how to act on a first date, or I think I do, but maybe this is wrong. I'm going to tell you. So you're going to get all of this. Go ahead and click down below. You get the first video sent to you within like 30 seconds of signing up. And we are off to the races. It's great. And you have forever access to this. So you can watch it on repeat as many times as you want. Go ahead and join right down below. But if you're in the Shallon entourage, you get these for free. I take care of my kids. So listen, you want a little bit more Shallon access? I do about 4 or 5 videos a week. I'm doing a ton of story times and deep dives, pep talks. We do a new Shallelujah Sunday video every week to get you like geared up for the new week, Evil Monday, Slutty Saturday, everything in between. Plus you get access to all of this course, all of my Alpha Academy hookup tutorial series that we did last summer, which were incredible. Sorry, they were. All of Shallentine's Day's recent videos and all of this year's Evil Week. So it's actually a little cheaper in the long run to join the Shallon Entourage. Plus, you get access to all of our Telegram chats, and we're all just besties. We're all meeting up and hanging out. It's fucking great. It's a really amazing community. So yeah, 2 new options to connect and get some help on stuff. So let's talk Megan. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's just read her statement. There has been no third-party interference in this relationship of any kind. That includes, but is not limited to, actual humans, DMs, AI bots, or succubus demons. While I do hate to rob you of running random, baseless news stories that would have been much more accurately written by ChatGPT, you need to let this story die and leave all of these innocent people alone. Now, you are the one who started this. I feel like I want to scratch my own eyes out. One of you guys in the Shallon Entourage said this so right. It's giving middle school Facebook status updates, okay? Megan, you fucking started this. None of this came out of nowhere. You alone. Not MGK, not Sophie, not even Dumois. This isn't even like a source set. This is all Megan. All you, bitch. Random, baseless stories. Let this story die. The story that you keep pouring gasoline on, the story that you literally poured gasoline on it. You had a boyfriend bonfire. I mean, it's the most literal thing in the world. Can anyone use a little bit of goddamn symbolism around here? Jesus Christ, someone take me back to Brit Lit in 10th grade. Why does something like this get us so riled up? Because we all know someone like this. We all know someone like this. She is cut from the same cloth, I'm sorry, as Meghan Markle. Did you see the South Park thing? It's exactly that. It's like, I called this press conference to announce publicly that I don't want attention. What? What is wrong with you? And not just what is wrong with you, because I honestly don't know that I care what is wrong with any of these people at this point. What do you think, here's the question, is wrong with us that we cannot see through this? That we are going to allow ourselves as a nation, as a human race, to be gaslit by someone who is so obvious in their machinations? What about me, Shallon Lester, says that that's something I'm going to be cool with? And since you guys watching are all like me, you're all cut from my cloth, I don't fucking think so. And again, this stuff is so triggering because we all have someone in our lives like this. We all have someone in our lives like this. And the worst part of it is, maybe it was us. I don't think it is now. Maybe it is. But what if it was us? You know when I was this person? You know when I was the person who was doing things for attention, and then when I got the attention, I was turning it around on everybody else? Like you're just like attacking me. When I was a cutter. Do you guys know I was a cutter? Yeah. Like I would cut myself with razor blades. I was one of those. I was an emo kid. And when I say kid, I mean I was an emo grown-ass adult. I was a grown adult. I was a grown adult. I wasn't 12 in doing this. I was like 24. I got into the cutting game real late. And listen, I'm not going to use some bullshit term like self-harm. It's too fucking woke. And I'm sorry, it's not specific enough. I wasn't self-harming. I was cutting. Let's call a spade, honey. Okay? I'm not dressing this behavior up in some like cutesy, self-harm. It's the opposite of self-care. Shut the fuck up, man. Shut up. Grow up. I was slicing on my arms with razor blades. Why? I wanted attention. Now, of course, this is it's a complex psychological issue. The reason I was cutting, not just because I wanted attention, because that's a very like reductive way to look at it. I was so miserable. I was like clinically depressed. Like I, have like depressive tendencies. I was so anxious and I didn't know how to deal with anything. I couldn't like hold it. I couldn't hold it inside. I needed to get it out because then I could deal with it. I could deal with cuts on my arm. Okay, I know what to do. I put peroxide on it. Like I would cut myself and immediately go to the medicine cabinet and like wipe myself all up. Because it gave me like a forward action for my pain. Now all of this jumbly pain inside was pushed into dots of red blood. If this is triggering, also grow up. Your triggers are your problem. Like the world is not going to bend around you. And the fact that you might think that that's like expected and you're entitled to that is probably why you're so unhappy in the world. Because you have unrealistic expectations of what life owes you. Think about it. Consider it. So I was cutting myself because I couldn't sit with the pain. It was a vice like anything else. The way alcoholics drink, drug addicts shoot up, shopaholics, fuckaholics, all these people, it's take me out of these thoughts and give me something else to latch onto. Something that is arguably worse, Or even if it's not worse, it's certainly not helping. It's a false god. And the worst part is when I realized it didn't work anymore. Because every addict gets to that point. You're not getting fun drunk. You're drinking so you don't have the shakes. You don't get high anymore. You just can't be dope sick. Everything you're buying, you don't even enjoy it because you know what that credit card bill says. It's brutal. And I remember cutting myself one day and I was like, oh, the drugs don't work anymore. I mean, I had a good run. They worked for a long time, but they don't now. And you know, the only thing I feel now is the shame. It's just the shame. All of the, oh, this is working has burned off. Now it's just the gross shame. How does this relate to Megan Fox? Because when people noticed I cut myself, and listen, I was not cutting myself in like secret places. I was doing it on my forearm because I wanted people on, and I didn't consciously admit this. This is a subconscious thing. I wanted people to see it and know how anxious the world was making me. I wanted someone to know this. And then when people did, they're like, are you cutting yourself? I was so horrified and disgusted with myself. The cringe of all cringes. I was disgusted. And eventually that got me out of it. I'm like, I can't feel this way. This is literally so fucking embarrassing. But I look at Megan Fox. I'm like, are you not having this same reaction? Hey Siri, how old is Megan Fox? Megan Fox is 36 years old. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought she was like 32. Megan Fox is 36 years old. We're not here to age shame anyone because you know I'm like approaching 497 years old. But we've said, we look at MGK and Megan and we look their limerence and their over-the-topness and we want those feelings. Like, who doesn't want to feel like that? The downside though is cringe-ass behavior like this. The downside is cringe-ass behavior. And I think this is what messes us up about a relationship like MGK and Megan's is we look at them and we think, God damn, in order to have those highs, do I have to have these cringe Lord lows? Yes. Like kind of, yes, I think so. And I don't blame Megan for having very strong feelings. She's always been kind of like a big wackadoodle, right? But baby girl, you can't act like this at 36. You're 36 and a mom of 3, okay? You're pushing 40 and you're behaving like you're 13. And that's not shade on a 13-year-old. That's how a 13-year-old should be acting because their hormones are all over the place and their brain hasn't finished forming. Yours has by 11 years. All right? So I don't blame her for feeling passion. My issue with her is how she is handling this. Because it is no one saying, enough. You are the problem here. You're the problem here. And then for her to turn around and again, gaslight all of us, like we're not completely aware that she's the one doing all this. And then start posting about Sophie, like, I'm sorry you got dragged into this and welcome to Hollywood. It's your first unwarranted PR scandal. You did this to her. You did this to her. She was minding her own business. What? Like, what? Leave that woman alone. Leave that woman alone. If I were her, I'd punch Megan right in the fucking jaw. Like, you keep my name all the way out of your mouth. Like, I have kept everything in your relationship out of my mouth. I'm not putting any parts of you guys in my mouth. So please stop. Now listen, we have seen this kind of behavior before. We know it as something that is frequently employed by people with borderline personality disorder. My therapist has called it splitting. Now, I just love it whenever I talk about people with borderline because they come in the comments in all caps, insane vitriol. We're not hard to love. No, you sound great. You can ameliorate the effects of borderline personality disorder, which is an attachment disorder. It's not something you can medicate. There's no like cool people pills, you know, there's no attachment pills. But, and I talk to a lot of people with BPD and they're like, I'm in therapy and I'm really taking steps. Like, great, then you're going to make incredible headway. It's the people who aren't acting like that, the people who are wiling out in the comments that I'm like, okay, thanks for proving my point. But my therapist called this behavior splitting. And some people are like, it's not called that. Again, you sound completely stable. So thank you. And he said, it's something where someone with BPD will create a problem so that they can rush in and be the savior. I've experienced this many, many times with people who I did not know had borderline and were causing huge, incredibly awful issues in my life. Someone who ran one of my old fan groups would, oh my God, She would impersonate hater. I mean, she would be a hater. She'd be trolling me on the internet. I had no idea who was behind these accounts. And because I know this because she came clean about it later. Or she would like gas up haters about me. And then she would swoop in and defend me. And she would screenshot this to me and be like, see, I'm defending you. And I would say a million times, like, please don't send me. I appreciate that. But this is like so stressful for me. Like, please don't send me this stuff. I was going through a lot of stuff at the time. And she just kept doing it. You know, she would insert herself and create problems so that she could look like the good guy coming to fix them. Now, what is Megan Fox doing? And when we look at Megan's entire pathology, seems to be some potential attachment issues. I don't know. She seems to go pretty hard on these relationships. I mean, I know we only have one. We have like her marriage. Who knows anything about that? Who wants to? She's married to that dude from 902. I don't care. But like MGK, this is a lot, right? Maybe she's dealing with borderline. Maybe she's just a garden variety asshole though. You know, there's a lot of them out there and they don't get some cutesy little label. They're just dicks. And they're just running around for attention, you know, not caring who that affects, who that hurts. Like, has she tweeted anything about her fiance? She's like rushing to Sophie's defense. Oh, you're innocent in this. I mean, if we have all gotten it so wrong, Megan, why don't you correct us? If this is the false narrative, what's the right one? What's the right one? You know how I feel about celebrities and lying. It's like the plastic surgery thing. You don't have to speak on it. It's your face, it's your body, whatever. But if you are going to speak on it, you need to tell the truth. Don't come out here, Bella Hadid. Scan my face, darling. I will. It's full of filler. It's full of plastic like mine used to be. Okay? Parts of you are 26 or whatever. Parts of you are only a few months old. Okay? Like, Megan, if you're going to say a narrative is false, to me, you have the obligation to correct it. Because look, again, we see people like this in our real lives. People who are like, no, I don't want to go to tapas. All right, Megan, where do you want to go? I don't know. I just not there. People who have only criticisms and no ideas for how to make something better. That's a stupid idea, Brad. All right, Caitlin, what do you think the cover should be? I don't know. Just not that. It's dumb. I am so sick of people like this. Everyone can criticize. Everyone can do that. Are they offering anything meaningful as a replacement for the I hate it? Megan's not. I want to go to Instagram because I want to see what you guys, oh brother, what you guys had to say about this, because I swear to God, like I could do an entire YouTube video just reading y'all suggestions, not even getting to any advice or rants, just reading them. Because I asked you, what's the topic here? Vicky. Hi, Vic. How to not irredeemably lose respect for yourself and become a pigeon. Jessica. These are all girls from my Shalligator trips. Jess said, how to know when you're losing yourself in a guy and how to get yourself back. Jess also said, the clown, the clown you devolve into when you stay with the cheater. Azure. I love you. How not to be a how not to be a martyry, smug attention whore. Good. So I love this cluster of ideas, but we did touch on this in the last video about how not to lose yourself in a relationship, like how to keep a sense of, I guess, autonomy, even when you're falling in love with someone. And ironically, that is going to make the love burn brighter longer. It's all about a concept called limerence. Go ahead and check that out. And this is what someone else suggested. This is why people shouldn't post about a breakup before they know it's real. And also a new relationship. Very, very good point. I think, you know, I was talking about cutting. It's like this inability to sit with the ickies. I can't sit with the ickies. And I think we are in such a culture of immediacy. Like TikTok is like a slot machine. Pornhub is everywhere. Like now. There's no waiting. There's no patience anymore. And that, I think, has trickled down, or I don't know which has trickled in what direction, but certainly our emotions are the same way. Like, we cannot just sit with shit. We can't. We have to just, like, dump every thought, everything out there. And certainly, given what I do for a living, sharing my thoughts and my feelings, and, you know, everything that pops through my head in any given moment, I am completely this way. I'm completely this way. It's very hard for me to like not share every single feeling and thought that I'm having. I have learned to share with my friends and not always with the internet, but it's a challenge. So let's talk about this. Why you shouldn't post about a breakup before you know it's real, and also a new relationship before you know it's real. So here's just like a really actionable logistical thing. When do you start posting about a new guy? When do you start telling people? Okay, so this is a good like logistical actionable thing we can talk about. When do you start to share that you're in a new relationship? How do you know when it's real? I think a good sort of rule of thumb is after you've had a fight. After you've had your first fight and recovered from it. Because listen, you're going to learn a lot. Because what have we said in the past? The first fight is the last fight. First fight's the last fight. What does this mean? When I look back on the relationships I've had that have ended, the thing that has ended them is the first thing I ever got pissed about. Because when you're in a relationship, you're like, chill, chill, chill. I'm just letting things go. What's he doing? I'm just letting things go. And then by the time you're like, don't do that. By the time you really pop off, it's because all these other things you could like compartmentalize. This is the thing that really got under your skin. This is the thing that mattered. And 100 times out of 100, I look back, that was the thing that spelled doom for us. In a previous relationship, it was, why is this girl in my DM saying she's actually dating you? Well, turns out he was cheating on me for 2 years. He explained it away at the time, but that was when I was like, I'm not letting this go. No. I'm not letting this go. And the thing is, you do eventually let it go, or you work through it, or it's ameliorated, or it's fixed for now. And I know this sounds very gloom and doom, like, hey, what's the point of even continuing a relationship if the first fight's going to be your last? Because those were all the wrong people, though. You have to think of it that way. Like, those were people who I needed to weed out of my life. So, of course, the first fight was going to be the last fight. Of course. But with a quality person, the first fight, you're like, okay, no, this is actually an issue. Your closeness with your ex is an issue to me. And a relationship that is sort of doomed, you'll get over it, but it's still there, smoldering underneath the rubble. A quality person, no, you're going to actually work it out. There will be a resolution. It won't be like, well, I told him how I feel and I don't know. This is we're just moving on from it. But I don't think you should be posting about someone until that is like asked and answered, until you know what the monster under the bed is. Because let's look at it this way. Every relationship is probably going to have them. Every relationship has something. All right. In fact, in the Shallon Entourage, I do a deep dive on this. I call it the tax. Like, what is the tax on your relationship? You want to date someone fun? The tax is, yeah, they might not be super, super stable. They might not want to stay home and cry with you when you've had a bad day at work. They might want to go out. They're the fun guy. That's who you dated. You want to date the stable guy? The tax is, they might not be the first one on the dance floor at your friend's wedding. All right. They might not be the life of the party. You might have to kind of draw them out and like babysit them when you go out. That's the tax. So you have to look, what is the tax? And by the way, if you join the Shallon Entourage, you can still watch this video. You can watch everything I've ever posted. It's all available to you. Just endless content. But yeah, if you can maybe reframe it and look at it like this, like, okay, until I learn what the tax bracket is on my relationship, I'm going to keep things to myself, because maybe the tax is pretty small. Like, you know what? He is really into fantasy football. Wow. And all his dumb friends come over on Sunday to do whatever the hell fantasy football entails. I should not have used this example because I have no clue. But you know what? Okay. Maybe his taxes, he tells dumb dad jokes at parties. You're like, sweetie, just, okay. And maybe that's not that bad. Okay, great. But now you know, and now you'll have data. But maybe the tax is, oh no, he's real close with his ex or his mom or his ex and her mom. I mean, maybe the tax is bad. Maybe the tax is, he's actually addicted to Xanax. He wants to be a professional Twitch streamer. But you got to get some data, because then you will be able to suffer the slings and arrows. If you're posting about this person and things go belly up, you're going to not be like, I didn't know. You're not going to be in this Megan Fox attention spiral because you feel so victimized. You won't feel as victimized. You might still be pissed, but you can be like, you know what? I knew that this was an issue with us and we've been trying to work it out and it just didn't. You're not going to do what Megan did, which is this horrible cringe dump. One of you honed in on exactly that. Let's go to the tape. Brinley said, how to come back from an emotion-fueled social media cringe dump. A cringe dump. Maybe your cringe dump came in the form of an actual social media cringe dump, you know, like some subtweets, some ill-advised audio, yeah, some crazy comments. There's just so many ways, a million ways to die in the West, right? But maybe a cringe dump came in a different form. Maybe it was you talking about this for 11 brunches in a row. Maybe it was you talking to his friends when you ran into him watching the Super Bowl. Maybe it was cutting. This was my cringe dump. This was my, I mercifully don't have any scratch. Oh no, I can see them. They're like, they're not colored, but I can see them. Maybe you had a cringe dump. The first step is identifying what it is. Because you might be sitting here going, oh, I never posted that shit on Instagram. Okay, maybe you posted it to like your friendships. Maybe you posted it in real life. I'm not saying this to shame you. That's not true. I am. But hold on. We've talked about shame before. What do we say? You only need an eyedropper of shame, not an ocean. And shame wants to be an ocean. It wants to swallow you up and trash you and tell you that you are no good and worthless. And of course, this is why he left. And of course, you're a fucking loser and this is why you feel this way. We're going to say, no, thank you, shame. No, thank you. I'm getting out of this ocean. I'm getting into a boat. I'm grabbing a lifeline and hold on. I'm just going to take this eyedropper. I just need a little souvenir and I'm going to squeegee a little one out. And this is all I need. This is all I need. Just one little dash on my shoulder to be like, shame. Okay, I'm good now. A little shame goes a very long way. It's not a place I want you to stay in. I don't want you floating adrift in the sea of shame. I want you to get the fuck up out of it. Because what happens in the sea of shame? Victimhood. And then you're cold-blooded, you're a pigeon, you're a victim. And that has its own kind of shame attached with it. That, again, is its own kind of vice. It is something that you are putting on top of an already difficult problem. So now you have two problems. And we see this so clearly in terms of like, oh, he couldn't deal with the breakup, so he started drinking. Like, great job. Now you have two problems. When we like eat our feelings, now I have two problems. But shame is that as well. It is its own shit ass issue. So we got to step out of it. We can't beat ourselves up. We need to just, if it's too shame oceany to look right at the problem and be like, I did a cringe dump and I did it here and I did it there and I did it there. That's okay. I want you to just kind of like look at it in your peripheral vision. Like, okay, it's over there. Okay. All right. You don't need to go through every post, every conversation. You don't need to lay there in bed, like recounting everything. You don't need to do that. You want to tap into it enough to use it as fuel. Okay, you're going to turn that shame ocean, that salty shame water, somehow into biodynamic fuel, and you're going to power yourself forward using it. This metaphor really got away from me. I am sorry. How do you do that? I think it's important to ask ourselves, what were we truly looking for in that moment? Because every large action has some sort of emotional motivation. When I was cutting myself, and again, in a very public place. I wasn't doing it in a place no one could see. I was doing it because I wanted to get noticed. Why? Oh, it's so cringe. Why would I want people to know that about me? Because I wanted someone to help me. I wanted people to take me seriously. And people weren't, by virtue of, I was like a young, silly blonde girl, but I wasn't fucking silly. I was an editor of a magazine. I was like a bad bitch in New York and I was struggling. But I was so upset. The things that would get me were like breakups. Breakups were they were really hard on me. And people didn't really like take my pain seriously. And as I say this, I'm like, Shallon, the fucking hubris, the entitlement. Why on earth should other people take my pain seriously. What on earth responsibility is it of theirs? Like the audacity for me to think that when I'm in pain, the world stops and the world listens. Now look, we've used that phrase talking about what we want from a partner. And science has shown, studies have confirmed that is the number one thing a healthy relationship has. This mutual attitude of when I'm in pain, the world stops and you listen. Because if you don't have that, you actually don't have anything. You ain't got nothing. You could have money, chemistry, fun time, shared goals, 1,000 kids. If he doesn't care when you're in pain, you actually don't have a relationship. I know I've been in those relationships. They're agonizing. You have too. And it's ironic that I didn't have those kinds of relationships that I wanted. And so I demanded them. I demanded that dynamic from the entire rest of the world. He doesn't care, so every other person has to. Every other person has to. This is now on you. I have needs to get met, and he's not meeting them, so fuck all of you. You all need to do it. How dare I? How dare I offload those responsibilities to the people in my life? How dare I? You know who's responsible for meeting my needs? I am. I am. Not even a boyfriend or a husband or even a parent. Like, they had needs of mine they needed to meet historically growing up, of course. But now, like, nope, not mom's job, not grandmother's, nobody's, mine. And I was too chicken shit to see that, or I didn't understand, or whatever it was. But I wasn't, nope. Somebody else has got to fix this. I think I was at a point in my life where I didn't feel like I had a lot of personal power. Or maybe I didn't want a lot of personal power, because with great power comes great responsibility, doesn't it? I don't know that I wanted that. Maybe I felt overwhelmed by life at the time. I didn't want to adult. This was too much. Someone just help me. Someone save me. Someone pulled me out of the sea in which I am drowning. So I look at Megan and her whiling out and her cringe dump, and I'm like, I wonder what this woman needed in this moment that she wasn't getting. And you know what? If she had been a little bit self-aware and could have expressed that, I think people would have a tremendous amount of compassion for her. Like, you know what? If her statement could have been like, you know what? I am pretty grossed out by how I acted over the last few days. I'm deeply horrified. I deleted my Instagram. I said this on my own Insta. There's not a man on God's earth that I would delete my Instagram for. There's not a person that's my memories. I mean, likes are nice, whatever. For me, my Instagram is my memory. It's my diary. It's my whole life. Like, laid out in photos. I would never delete it. So I digress. If she had been there or come back and had a statement like, I feel super cringy about what I did, but like, I was literally looking for a reaction. I was looking to be looked at, because that's not something I was feeling like I was getting. Or you know what? Maybe I was getting it. Maybe MGK was doing like fine, but there was something, like he ignored some text or didn't give me the hug, something. And it took me right back to being 6 years old and not having my needs met and not feeling validated and feeling abandoned. And I like snapped. Can you imagine if she could have done that? Can you imagine how like cool that would have been? I would be on here like, oh, Megan stand forever. But she didn't. Because it's so much easier to be the victim, which is why we hate them so much. It's like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're doing what we all want to do, which is just like, you lay down and die. And then you point the finger at anyone who says you're laying down and dying and being really weird right now. Again, like, this is triggering because I've been that person, and I know plenty of people. We all know people like this. The martyrs, the offloaders, the entitlers. It's galling. It's so gross. So what do you do if you encounter someone like this? What do you do with people like this? Well, hopefully it's not you. And if it is, I think we've given you some tools. You know, I've walked this path before. And look, in terms of cutting, like, it will always sort of be like my weird, sad impulse. But I stopped doing it by stopping doing a few things. Number one, drinking. Like, I mean, I don't drink now hardly at all, but even I would only cut myself when I was like really drunk, you know, home from a party. I would never really do it sober. Or if I would consider it or want to do it sober, I had the capacity to override that. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Okay. We're not doing that. So that was a huge thing. Like, I had to learn what my triggers were. Another trigger was like listening to My Chemical Romance, like, because it just brought me back to this like beautiful, like romanticized, mythologized time of like cutting and blood and emo, blah, 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 blah. And I had to stop. I had to stop. Like, alcohol plus MCR, bad. I can do one, I can do the other. Both of them together, take the razors out of my house. Take the razors out of my house, right? Also, I came clean to my mom about it. She's never hit me. She's never slapped me, but I thought she was going to. It sends like a chill up my spine thinking about how upset she was. Like, it is like, talk about shame. To see the look on her face, because my father committed suicide. And so this is like the most awful thing I could do to her, you know, even though cutting isn't about killing yourself. It's not like, it's not the same as being suicide. I don't, for some people it might be, for me, it wasn't. And like, A is B, B is not always A, but if you're not a cutter, that's hard to explain to somebody. They're like, okay, you know, like, it's a pretty hard concept to bridge. So for her, she just saw the worst possible case scenario potentially playing out in front of her. And I was like, I can't do this to her. Like, I can't, if I can't stay like sober, like cutting sober for me, I will do it for her, because she doesn't deserve this. You know, there's more than just me involved. I wanted attention. I got it. And it felt awful. It felt awful, you know? So, little segue. What do you do if you encounter people like this? I mean, you could take the very empathetic path and be like, what's going on, girl? What do you need in this moment? What do you wish you had that you don't have? Hopefully they'll pause and think of some answer. You know, hopefully they will come up with something that is self-aware. Like, I need to feel like my voice is being heard, because in this relationship I'm in, he is not listening to me. And I tried to do it the easy way. I tried to talk to him. I tried to write notes and blah, 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 and it didn't work. So I had to set his truck on fire. Now he's listening. So is the prosecutor and the district attorney, but they're listening now. And I would rather be listened to in a negative way than not have anyone listen to me at all. It's very tough. So maybe instead of, if you don't think that that's going to get you anywhere, asking what someone needs, just pat them on the hand and be like, I am listening to you. I am plugged in. I am listening to you. Let's talk about this. And let's talk about this like this. We don't need to involve the internet. We don't need to involve the razors. We don't need to involve the alcohol. Let's you and me talk about this. Let's you and me. Okay. What happens if you're the cringe dumper? How do you come back from that? Maybe do something like I thought Megan Fox should do. Come out, whether out is on your Instagram, at a different brunch, with your friend, whoever, whatever this audience is, where you feel like, ugh, and say, you know what? I really regret doing that, because that just is not my vision of who I am. That is not my vision of myself for myself. I hold myself to a higher standard, and that day I didn't. That many days, that 21 and a half days, I didn't. And you know what? Here's what you add. I realized that I cannot be in a relationship where the price tag is me, where I'm the price tag, where I am losing myself to keep this person, to get his attention, to express myself, whatever it is. Like, I can no longer be in a situation where that has a potential to happen again, because clearly I'm capable of it, and it feels disgusting. And it's not his fault. He didn't put that phone in my hand. He didn't put the razor in my hand. But if someone is pushing me to that emotional place, I can't do it. Because you know what people want to see? They love a resurrection story. They do. They love a resurrection. Jesus! They love a resurrection story. So if you can resurrect yourself, and you do that by saying, and here is what I've learned, because that's the way we all need to apologize. And I'm not saying apologize like you owe anyone an apology for your cringe dump, but I just mean apologize and then like, I regret something. Not like I'm apologizing to you. I'm just sort of apologetic that it happened. You see the difference? The way we apologize is by honing in on why this will not happen again, as demonstrated through our learning. I'm not going to do that again because I'm not going to get in a relationship like that again. Or I'm going to develop skills that I can express myself through a little bit better. Or I'm going to hone in on what I really need in these moments and not just lash out. Or shit, maybe it's, I'm going to put my phone in the freezer for 2 days until I calm the fuck down. Okay? So that's a way to kind of smooth things over, you know? But I think you have to speak on it once and never again. Never again. Celebrities make this mistake all the time. They keep bringing things up and up and up and up and up. You say it, you address it, you move on. It is done, dead, buried. No resurrection there. Jesus didn't resurrect twice, honey. It was once, and he went on up to heaven. Didn't keep coming back. No, what am I here? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's like Michael Jordan, retiring and unretiring. Good Lord, pick a lane. So if you can do that, people really will move on. Yeah, they might never forget. It's like, do you remember when she did? Yeah, no, I remember that. But again, if you can demonstrate self-awareness, then fuck what anybody else thinks. Fuck them. Like, they're not learning lessons the hard way. They are. If they're learning at all, they might just be repeating. You know, we think like, oh, they're going to learn something from this. No, a lot of people don't. They date another cheater. They date another abusive guy. They get fired from a different job. They gain all that weight back. They're actually not learning anything. So listen, if you think, oh, this is such an icky lesson to learn, you are miles ahead of the average. You really are. The fact that you are even acknowledging that it's something to learn. Seriously, you can throw that eyedropper of shame away. You got it. You got it. You're good. You're good. Some people, they got to drown in it. That's not for us though, you know? If we here, if us shalligators, smart, self-aware, brave, we are fucking brave because we do the hard things. We do the hard things that other people won't do. We look at the things. We change the behaviors. We genuinely want to be better. We want to be our best. Do you know how perky these tits are? Do you know how perky they are? I want to live a life that honors the perkiness. And so do you. The glossiest of lips, the perkiest of tits. Be worthy of our tit perkiness, okay? That's what we want to do. If we can't do this, nobody can. Remember, with great power, great responsibility. With great tits comes a great burden. So take some lessons, take some notes, and someone take Megan Fox's phone. That's all I gotta say. We're gonna be back next time, Shalligators. I'm gonna be reporting from London town. I'm gonna take my festival bullshit across the pond for a few days to celebrate a friend's birthday. I'll see you later, guys. Mwah!